Hi guys, welcome to another video, and in this one we're going to go through Functional Skills Maths Level 2 Percentages Part 2. So in this one we're going to go through the extension questions at the end of these notes. If you haven't watched Part 1, I'd recommend watching that first before you watch this one. As always, you can download these notes from the link in the description below, or if you're part of my class you can download them from Google Classroom. Let's jump straight into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with the non-calculate extension questions. So extension question 1. Lizzie buys 3 clocks for a total cost of £50 at car boot sale. She sells 2 of the clocks for £22 each and the other clock for £20. Lizzie thinks she has made a profit of over 30% of the cost of the clocks. Is Lizzie correct for 4 marks? Show why you think this. Okay, so me personally, I think if you're trying to work out percentage profit of 30%, percentage profit is to do with percentage change. Yeah, so if you remember, percentage change or percentage profit, there's a formula for that, and that is you need the change over the original and you times by 100. Yeah, so this is the formula for percentage change, and technically for percentage profit as well. In this case, that's what we're going to use it for. Yeah, so the change in this case is how much profit you made. Yeah, so if she buys the 3 clocks £50 in total, she sells 2 of them for £22 each and the other one for £20. Okay, so how much has she sold them all together? This is without the calculator, by the way. So she bought them for, how much was it? £50 altogether. Right, let's write this down. She sold them for 2 clocks £22 each, so that's 2 times 22, which is 44, and the other clock for £20. So if you add these two together, you'll get £64. So she sold them for £64. So the difference, or the change in this case, I'll put change stroke profit, is the difference between 64 and 50, which is obviously £14. Okay, so the percentage change is the change in this case, which is 14, over the original. What was the original? Well, she bought them for £50, so that's the original price. And obviously, because you want it as a percentage, you times by 100. Ooh, how do we do this without the calculator? Well, luckily it's out of 50. In fact, you know what? I'm going to, instead of doing it this way, I'll tell you what. This is our fraction. We want to change it to a percentage. Another way of changing it to a percentage is by, instead of doing it over 50, let's do it out of 100 instead. So I'm going from 50 to 100, you're multiplying by 2, and so you'll have to do the same for the numerator as well. That's going to give you 28, which is the same as 28%. Yeah, so if you can show 28% as your answer, you know you've got most of the marks already. And the last mark, for the 4th mark, you'll have to say if she's correct or not. So she thinks that she made a profit over 30%. Is she correct? No. So we'll say yeah, that's good enough. So 28% is obviously not more than 30%, so she's wrong. Yeah, I could have written it in this box here, but it's absolutely fine. As long as you show this, yeah, as long as you show your answer, as long as you show 28% and say that she's wrong or she's not correct. That's the main thing. Yeah. That's one way of doing it. There are other ways as well. I think this is probably the easiest way. Getting your answer quick and easy. Yep. Let's move on to the next one. Extension question 2. Paul sees this advert for a payment plan for a laptop. So, laptop payment plan. Normal price is £240. Pay deposit £36 and £15 a month for 12 months. Okay. Use our payment plan and save 8% of the normal price. Does using the payment plan save 8% of the normal price? You must show you're working. 5 marks for this. Okay. And there's a part B as well. We'll come to that in a minute. Okay. So, we're comparing the normal price with the payment plan. Yes, two different things. Payment plan. Use our payment plan. So the payment plan is you pay deposit £36 and then you got £15 a month for 12 months. So we'll have to do 15 times by 12. Let's write down. So the normal price. Let's write that down first. Normal price equals £240. Okay. The payment plan is £36 plus a deposit of £15 a month for 12 months. So let's do 15 times by 12. And again, without the calculator, you're gonna have to do it like this, or something similar. You know, you don't have to do it like this. There are other ways. Let's just do it like this though. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus the 1 carried is 3. Okay. Then I've got to put a 0 down and think of this as a 1 when it's in actual fact it's a 10. So 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Yeah. Add these two together. You'll get £180 for the payment plan. Plus the deposit of £36 as well, so I'll have to do 180 plus the £36. Yep, let me just double check. Yeah. So that's going to be 6 there. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry the 1. That's going to be a 2 there. So that's £216. So they think, or they're asking, is using the payment plan saving you 8% of the normal price? Saving. So in fact, what is the saving? The saving is the difference between these two values. Yeah, the difference between 240, which is the normal price, and the payment plan price, which is £216. So the saving is 240 take away 216. Let's do it this way. I'll have to borrow. 10 take away 6 is 4. 3 take away 1 is 2. 2 take away 2 is nothing. So it's a saving of £24. So they're asking, is £24 a saving of 8%? 8% of the normal price. So let's work out 8% of the normal price, and if it's the same as 24, then yes, they're correct. Let's double check. So let's do 8% of the normal price. Let's work out 10% first. I'm going to do it this way. 10% of 240 is £24. Yep. So straight away you can see 10% is £24. It's not the same as 8%, is it? So 8% is going to be something different, you know. So you can say right now, so you can say that 8% is not the same as £24, and that's your answer. So you can say Does using the payment plan save 8% of it? And you could say no, it doesn't. It's actually 10%. So we'll say no. Payment plan gives 10% saving. Of the normal price. Yeah, that's one solution you could give. You know, you could give other solutions as well, but it's definitely going to be no. Not as long as you can show that the saving here, the £24 saving, is not the same as 8%. Then you've proved that it's not the same thing. Yeah. So there are many solutions for this, as long as you can show that they're not the same thing. Part B says, use estimation to check your calculation for the cost of the payment plan. So keyword here is estimation. So, you know, that completely changes the question. We can't use these numbers as they are. So we're just looking at the payment plan and estimate that. So we're not going to use £36, we're going to use 40 for that. £15, you could keep that, but I think they want you to round it really. So to the nearest 10, that's going to be £20 a month. And let's do it for 10 months instead of 12. So let's do £20 a month for 10 months. That's going to give you £200 roughly, plus the deposit, which we said, again, round it to 40. So you should get roughly £240, which is roughly, what was the price of the payment plan? £216, which is pretty close. Yeah, so you can say which is not roughly, you can say which is close to £216. Yeah, so that's what you want. You want it not exactly, obviously, you want it pretty close. If you get an answer like 500 and something, for example, you know, you're not going to get anywhere near 216, then you've gone wrong somewhere. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm sure there's, again, you know, there's going to be more than one solution for this as well. You know, so if you get roughly pretty close to £216 for your answer, that's good enough. Let's move on to the calculator extension questions. So the first one, extension question 1. David reads this advert on his county council website. 70% of the area of woodland in the county is native woodland. This means that there are 350 kilometers squared of native woodland in the county. Work out the area of woodland in the county that is not native woodland. 3 marks for this. So 70% of the area is woodland. This means that 350 kilometers squared is woodland. So yeah, just be careful with this. See the way it's been worded. They're saying 70% is woodland, or native woodland, let's say. This means that there are 350 kilometers squared of native woodland. They're talking about the same thing. Yeah, so this 70% is the same as this area here. So let's write this down. So 70% equals 350 kilometers squared. Yeah, they're both talking about the same thing. So 70% of the area is equal to 350 kilometers squared. We want the area of the woodland that is not native woodland. Well, if 70% is woodland, that must mean that 30% is not native woodland. Yeah, so we want not native woodland. So the bit that the area that's not native woodland is the rest. So technically we want 30%. How do you get from 70 to 30? This is with the calculator, isn't it? So I'm still going to do a step in between though, because I do like to do that. I think it just makes it a lot easier. Let's work out 10% first. So this is kind of like reverse percentage. How do you get from this to this? You'll have to divide by 7. Do the same here. Well, even without your calculator, you can probably figure out that's going to be 50. Okay, or you can use your calculator if you want to double check. And to get from 10 to 30, I'll need to multiply by 3. Do the same to this side as well. That's going to give you 150 kilometers squared. That's going to be your answer. Yep, so 150 kilometers squared is not native woodland. So yeah, just be careful. Just don't fall into that trap of thinking, oh, I'm going to need 100%. It's not the case. That's not what it's asking for. It's asking how much of the area is not native woodland. So it's going to be the rest. So not 70%, but the rest that's left. That's going to be not native woodland. Extension question 2, part A, write 21.9% as a decimal. Again, we can use our calculators for this, but that literally means 21.9 over 100. Yeah, because percentage means out of 100. So as a decimal, technically what you're doing is the same as that. And you don't even need your calculator for this, but you can work it out. Should be 0.219. Yeah, if you type that in calculator, you should get the same. Part B, work out 37% of this amount. Give your answer to one decimal place. So definitely use your calculator for this one. So I work these out how I say it. So 37% of the amount. Yep, you do literally how you say it. Okay, percent means out of 100, doesn't it? So 37% of the amount. Yeah, you can type that in your calculator. In fact, let's do that. Let's type that in. Let me get my calculator. 37. You can use the divide button as well. So 37 divided by 100 times 4618.57 equals 1708.8709. Okay, so to one decimal place, well, there's my decimal point, there's one decimal place, there's my cutoff line. So this 7 is going to decide what happens to the 8. So because the 7 is more than 5, the 8 goes up to a 9. There's my decimal point. That stays the same, stays the same, stays the same, stays the same. So it's going to be 1708.9. Yep, and that's it. There's no units for this. Don't be tempted to put percentage. It's not percentage. We've just worked out 37% of this, so it's an amount. Yep. So just put your number, and just make sure you've got one decimal place for your answer, and that should be your final answer. Part C, write 51,049,112 in figures. Well, exactly how I've just said it. 51,049,000. Ooh, okay, right. So 51 million. Let's put a little comma there. You can do, yeah. 49,000. So that's going to be a 0. 49 112 in figures. That should be right. Yep. So you have to have that 0 there. otherwise it would be wrong. If you're not sure, a good way of doing this, just separate it. So what does 51 million look like? 51 million. That's what that looks like. 49,000, what does that look like? Well, that's like that. And 112. Okay, let's do 112. Yeah, and if you add that up as one big sum, you get 2 there, a 1 there, 1 there, 9 here. See how it all lines up? And there's a 0 here, a 1 here, and a 5 here. Yeah, and you can put the commas in if you want, you don't have to. Definitely don't put any dots in this. I have seen people put dots in their answer. I know a lot of countries do that, you know, to separate the thousands and the millions and so on. In the UK, you can't do that. You know, you can't put a dot here, for example. You know, it's not a decimal point. We have to put the comma instead, or even just leave it blank. You know, you don't even need these commas. You know, if it helps you separate them, then that's fine. But definitely don't put a dot there. We use dots for decimal points only in the UK. So yeah, just be very careful. You know, you don't want to get marked down for something as silly as that. Well, let's move on though. Extension question 3. Kevin buys a second-hand car for £7,346. He knows that the car is worth 27% less than when it was brand new. Kevin thinks that the car cost more than £9,000 when brand new. Is Kevin correct? Show why you think this. 3 marks. So, this is technically a reverse percentage question, isn't it? So how much was it worth originally? We're working backwards. So he knows that the car is worth 27% less than when it was brand new. So this here, £7,346. What percentage does that represent of the original? So if the original was 100%, this is now 27% less. So what is 100 minus 27? That's going to give me 73%. So we've got 73% of the original, this amount here. So 73% equals, what was the amount? 7,346. Okay, we want to know what it was originally, so we want 100%. Okay, and again, I like to do a step in between. Let's work out what 1% would be. So I'm going to get from 73 to 1%. I'm going to be dividing by 73 here. I'll have to do the same to this side. So on my calculator, I'm doing 7,346 divided by 73. I get a weird decimal. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it like this. And I know it looks a bit weird, but when I press SD on my calculator, I get a weird decimal. I get 100.63013698, and it goes on forever. It's a recurring decimal. So I'm not going to round that. I'm going to use the fraction instead, which is a hell of a lot more accurate than the decimal. Yeah, and this is not my final answer either. So let's just use that. I'm going to multiply by 100 anyway, because I'm going from 1% to 100. Let's times by 100 here and here. Okay, so on my calculator, I'm just going to times by 100. And I get, okay, again, I get a bit of a weird answer. But now, if I write my answer as a decimal now, I get 1006 3, and let's do it to the nearest pence. Technically 0.1. Okay, so Kevin thinks that the car cost more than £9,000 when brand new. Is he correct? Yes, he is. It actually cost £10,063 and 1 pence. Don't forget the 1 pence. So yes, he is correct. Yep, that's good enough. You've shown that the car actually cost £10,000, which is more than £9,000 when it was brand new. Yeah, good question, that one. That was the last one. So I hope you guys found that useful, and if you did, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video. Do send me any suggestions. Don't forget to add any comments below. You know, your feedback is very, very helpful. I do appreciate your support in all these videos that I do, and hopefully I'll make some more videos when I get time, and I shall see you in the next one.